Hey Libras, this is Hal for HES Ultimage, and this is your divination forecast for the month of April. Hey guys, so I am back and energized, and I know there were quite a few questions from people as far as number one, why were the videos so damn short last month? And number two, what the hell happened to all of your other videos? So I'm gonna be answering all of that stuff with this intro and giving you updates. Because in March I really didn't have many updates for you because it was such a mess at that point. And I mean, I recorded at end of February, which was really when I was like tanking with my energy, and I'll explain all of that now. If you are feeling impatient and you just want to skip ahead, that's a-okay. I'm not gonna know the difference. So if you just see me holding up the cards, then you'll know that that I've started the reading. You'll just have to kind of search around. But all right, so going into detail now about why everything was the way it was. Um, I was going through my spiritual ascension, which is an evolution of your spiritual abilities, and it kicked my ass. And it's funny, I've done this intro now like a billion times. I need to learn how to use that video editing software. like, a normal person would have done that. But I'm just like, no, it should be natural and spontaneous. So meanwhile I'm using up way more of my voice, but hey, I'll learn how to use that software eventually. Eventually. Alright, so anyhow, during that period it was super intense. Basically I describe it in my own joking way as, even though it's totally accurate, I was pretty much like Phoenix from X-Men. Where she freaks out and she's like, I am Phoenix! Then she burns everything to the ground and collapses on herself. That's what I was going through, basically. At the points where I was really overusing and overcharging my energy, the first time it felt like my body was set on fire, and I had to kind of like revive myself. And the second time it felt like my heart was being stabbed repetitively with a knife. Fun stuff! But during that period, I came to a realization that my abilities are far more advanced than I was expecting, and this was a big change for me because I began to experience my connection through spirit and entities and stuff in ways that I never experienced it before. Um, People are aware of all of my other spiritual gifts through, some of my other videos. That one's still there, so yeah, and I'll go into that too. But basically, I've learned now that I can actually intuit spirit through my physical body. Like, where before I can feel, like, clairsentience, which is, like, the buzzing and the sensations that are, like, more external. Like, I was physically, internally getting messages from spirit through my physical body. Through automatic writing, no less, where I would actually feel the letters being written in my mind, like, in my brain, like a physical sensation, which is still fairly clairsentient because I felt it through the sense of touch, through feeling. But in a way I had never felt it before because it really was like my physical body was receiving the messages. But I went into like a major overload. I was overloading on that. Yeah, I was channeling from way too many different sources, like they were all just kind of hooking on to me. It was kind of like a party train. So I didn't know where the message was coming from at the time. And it was just freaking me out because it was something I'd never experienced before and in such an abundance. So yeah, so like that's why I was just like so totally bugged out during that period. And now, as you guys can tell, I'm like so totally myself again. Um, and it's funny, even with other people, I was like, I'm myself again when I tell bad jokes, because it's kind of a hallmark of what I do, that and the cursing, which is just a natural symptom of myself. Anyhow, but so during that period, I did take down some videos. I actually got rid of 2 major only decks that were just not very me. When I used them during that period, that was fine, but that's kind of part of the rationale of why I removed the old videos. I'm removing that energy and stepping into that new energy. I've still got all my other old decks, and I've got a lot of new decks that you're going to be enjoying this time because I'm using only the new ones for this month just to push us into the new energy with new energy from new cards. Not that it was necessary, but it felt good. But anyhow, the other thing was during that period, I did refund about a week's worth of readings. And that's because I believe very strongly in the ethics of what I do. And I couldn't, in good conscience, do a reading for somebody if I didn't feel like I could channel things in the proper way and feel spirit the way I ordinarily would, that I would feel confident in my interpretations. Now that's no problem, and actually during most of that period, it wasn't a problem, but during that period where I was just, like, really tanking on energy, I refunded that week, because everybody was coming to their deadline, and I was like, well, I'd rather just give people their money back than ever do anything remotely off base. So yeah, so I apologize to the people who I needed to refund, but at the end of the day, I felt so much better about doing that than to have even done anything that was anything less than what you deserved. But that said, if you do eventually want a reading from me, I'd be happy to read from you. It wasn't that I didn't want to, but I just wasn't in the right state to do it. Which never happens. I mean, that was the first time I ever went through anything like that. But apparently it's something that most people with intuitive gifts do have to go through, especially when you're receiving ones that are far beyond what even most intuitives can wind up actually getting. So it was a very intense sorry, tripping over my words, guys. Anyhow, so yeah, it was a very intense experience, but I do hope to eventually, when I feel comfortable again, learn how to use those abilities in very constructive ways, both the automatic writing and the channeling, because now it's pretty much like the skills of a medium, and I was always an energy medium feeling the clairsentience, but yeah, it's a learning process to use those new abilities that are so much more advanced. Anyhow, though, but yeah, to those other people, I know I do readings in ways unlike anybody else, so if you do eventually want a reading from me again, I'd be happy to do it for you. Okay. General updates, and then some other stuff, and then we're going. Because again, like, I haven't talked to you guys in a while, okay? A lot to talk about. So my birthday just passed. It was March the 20th. Went with my family to Colorado to visit my brother to celebrate our birthdays together. And that was great. And I had been recovered by then, so I could actually enjoy it. And it was good to be with everybody that I love and everything like that. And here we go. Now springboarding into something completely different. For the people who've been watching my channel for a while, you probably know that or even through some personals if you were about business, because I tend to relate this a lot. Before I started this work, even though I was doing it in private for myself and it was a part of my spirituality and my faith, I actually was planning a comic company, and that was all I ate, slept, and breathed for a good part of my life and for a whole year with all the logistics that I was doing. And after about a year anniversary, my artist cut out on me. And I made the merch samples. I'm registered with the government. Like, I am registered as Destiny Line Comics. I still have that company. It's a fish, it's official. It's not functioning, but I have that company. During that period, like I said, I got merch samples, we did logos, we did everything. Like, I got all the web space, I did everything I could. All the logistics of everything I needed to know. But anyhow, during that period, I got these beautiful imported silicone and stainless steel bracelets from China, which is a big commitment too. Like, most people, even on Kickstarter, don't get imported merchandise. That's what normal companies need to do to get things done. So I mean, that was a big commitment from me. And they made them to my exact specifications. And they were a small company. They were so attentive, so focused on creating something that was to perfection, and I appreciated that a great deal. They were fabulous, and I would definitely work with them again, if not sooner than later. But anyhow, I thought I was going to save those for the company, because I'm stubborn, and I've got a lot in Capricorn and a lot in Taurus. But after talking with a friend, I realized that they were actually relevant to what I'm doing now, because at the time I just thought it was a fun bonus, but these bracelets actually have these bio-elements in the back of the steel that help balance the energy in your body, which, you know, for people in general, but especially people aware of spirituality, like, it's good to have things that are balancing the energy of your body and your ions. So anyhow, that said, I'm actually going to be offering them through my website. And it's funny because when I first got them and I was talking to my artist in this Panera Bread, someone came up to us and just wanted to buy a bracelet, like, not even relevant to the company or anything, just because they thought they were cool. But here we go. I'm going to show you all the bracelets. And that was the one last thing. Funny coincidence. My branding colors were prism colors, which happen to be the same colors as the 7 chakras. So here we go. Black metal, light blue, and red, so that's the black metal, silver metal. And I made all these choices myself. I wanted contrasting colors for the metals, and I got them. Silver metal is dark blue, black, and green. Okay. And then gold tone metal, my personal favorite. Violet, my personal favorite, period. Very cool. Orange. Okay. And yellow. All right. And the colors are showing up better on this video, but the auto lighting does kind of alter them a little bit. But I have pictures on my website, so that way you'll see the 100% accurate colors, because they're very deep and saturated, so they look very mature. And then there are the bioelements. And it's like far infrared ray, tourmaline, I think geranium is another one, and I can't remember the other, but I'll probably just look them up again and then post them onto the website in that section. But yeah, like, they're really cool, and that's the other thing. The company logo is actually, hold on, because the shimmer is making it turn out a little less here, so let me do this one. There we go. The logo is actually laser printed onto the metal. And the logo is actually an inkstone with lines going through it. And the inkstone is representative of the actual power that we hold in our own future. And as many know from watching other videos of mine, I call that the human element. And then the lines represent all of the unforeseen circumstances or events that kind of spur on from those choices. So yeah, it's just really cool. And oh, and they're super comfortable. The metal has an incredible shine to it. They polish them more than any other factory that normally makes those bracelets to ensure that kind of quality. I picked a great place, what can I say? And they're fully adjustable. So if you have a teeny tiny wrist like me, it'll fit you. And if you have a giant wrist like my bestie, they'll fit you too. So, because that was a big thing for me, having an adjustable bracelet that can fit everybody. All right, so that said, one more springboard off of that. If you are an artist or know an artist who would be interested in collaborating and making these comics into an actual physical reality, then please do contact me through YouTube or through my website, where the link is below. Yeah, because I haven't I'm very far from giving up on anything with this. And I know that my stories are unlike anybody else's, and they have some really powerful messages. And they're also really entertaining. I'm a fantasy writer, and a very progressive one. I don't write traditionally at all. But yeah, so if you'd be interested or know someone who would be interested and want to forward them, then by all means, I'd love that. We wouldn't be able to get any compensation until we turn out an actual comic, but I mean, you know, I know there are a lot of people out there who want to create something that's of enduring value and enduring beauty, and that has always been my goal. So, but obviously, if the physical comic is created, everybody gets compensated. Yay! All right. Last thing, videos will be back to their usual length, obviously. I might start doing some weeklies again. Yeah, I know a lot of people were disappointed when they went away. But now this is my full-time gig, so I might be able to do them. I am not going to be doing them every week. Like, I will only do them when I feel like I have the extra time, or if I feel like we really need a message for that week. So it'll be sporadic. It'll be once in a while. But yeah, so that's that. But they might be popping up again, so check back. And, you know, if you're subscribed, you'll just see them, right? Last one, I did take down the few education and philosophy videos I had. Not that that many people saw them, but I do believe they're an important resource. So I am going to probably be redoing those crystal meditation videos. And it's probably better I took down the one anyhow, because I accidentally said the F word in the two most important videos. And then only people with YouTube accounts could actually view them. So it's going to be good that I redo them so everybody can use it as a resource. Okay. Now we're down to the reading, guys. Yeah. And you guys have an interesting one for Libras in April, because you've got the main energy, and there's a cycle inside a cycle. So April's going to have some repetitive lessons coming at you. All right, I'm going to get started. Oh, wow. We've got a lot of people are getting messages like this, but give me a second because I want to see the full picture. Wow. Okay, this is huge energy coming at you guys, okay? Like, you've got a really big message. All right. Here's the core of it. These are all new cards, too, so enjoy the brand new cards we've got here. The Locket, paired with Angel of Hearts, Truth, and Sword of Orion, Look Inside You. All right, so bringing all of these together. All of these together, Angel of Hearts, Truth, and Sword of Orion, Look Inside of You. That's all about inner truth. We've been getting a lot of that, and again, if you saw my February's, the new eras that we're pushing into for the next 2 decades, push is happening in April. We had the shakeup in February, healing in March. April's about to push into the new energy where we start to get empowered again and start to get moving on our goals again. Locket shows the things that you hold dear and close to your heart. So whatever it is that you're going to be working on in April, it's about that thing that you really want more than anything else. Here we go, because there's even more energy towards that, guys. Seed of the heart. Yeah, we got it again. All that energy thrown at you once more. Cycling with distant shores. This shows me whatever that goal is, it feels far away right now. Okay. I think you know what you really want, but it seems like it's on another planet, you know, or on another continent. So, and that's going to be a recurring lesson for you in the overall energy of April, okay? So you're going to be thinking a lot about how far it feels that you are from your dreams, but then you're going to be thinking of how you can bridge the gap, probably. And we've got a lot more. We've got our classic spread that we're not even in yet. All of that stuff is inside of this cycle. You have a cycle inside a cycle, guys. And that cycle is the clover paired with the mountain. And again, it's this idea that the things that you want, the things that you feel are the most worthwhile, the things that are tied to your dreams and hopes, you feel like they're very far away. So again, it's like I get this big, big feeling of whatever it is that your soul's ambition is, it feels incredibly distant, in which case April is a time to reflect on how you can start moving towards that vision, even if it does feel like you're about to climb Mount Everest. Okay? That's the overall energy. And now we've got a lot more, because you have another cycle. And the key energy, and that's inside energy surrounding us this month. Ha. Yeah. Oh, one of my favorite cards in this other new deck. Okay. She Loves, which is energy of forgiveness, but this is one of my favorites from this other new deck. A Night on Earth, Magical New Beginning. So this being the energy that surrounds you for the month, it shows me the healing towards this ambition. Magical New Beginning, Night on Earth, is about the pursuing of that goal. Okay, guys? It's like, and if you're a very talented artist, you'd better have watched that intro, because maybe it's you that's going to get a magical new beginning with an opportunity of making something awesome with me, right? Sorry, I had to do that little promotion, right? That's how you know I'm myself again, making bad jokes. But anyhow, yeah, that was the intro in the beginning for those of you who skipped it who might be a talented artist or know someone who is. Because again, now that I'm seeing for you guys, a healing towards an ambition, magical new beginning, meaning breathing in new life, it could very well be a Libra. I don't know. All right, guys. And I do love my Libras. I do. It's like especially those Libra men. Nah. Anyhow. Cycle. Here we go. Powerful energy. Legacy of Light. Cycling with the Ancient Ones. A lot of these new decks are super cosmic and really out there, guys. It's really awesome stuff. All right. So, cycling around that energy, Legacy of Light and Ancient Ones is showing me your spirit guides. It's showing me your karmic pattern, your karmic destiny, all that stuff. So again, since this is the energy surrounding you, the energy of forgiveness, healing that ambition that felt very far away, now it's time to start pursuing it. And this isn't just in April, this is the push. So it's for the next 2 decades, all right, as I interpret it. So this is when it all begins for you, to start pursuing that dream that feels very far away, but that you need to start working towards, because it's a part of your higher vision and why you've been incarnated. That's what the Ancient Ones and Legacy of Light is bringing into all this. All right, we've got more though. Okay, guys, energy. Energy you are bringing. Bam. Gifts received. So, guys, your gifts are what you're bringing, okay? And your gifts are going to be things you can give other people to help them forward. This is another really important element to the energy of April is if you have the goods and you can help people through their time, because a lot of people have gone through a hard time. I already know you're beyond it because you're ready to move towards your goals. But to those people who you know in your periphery still need help, by all means help them, because you have gifts to give people in April, and you really should be doing that. God, I'm going to have to say it again. If you're a very talented artist, then that gift might be something you need to give me. I don't know why. Even when I was laying down the cards for Libras, I just had this weird feeling. And I do love my Libras. Sorry, guys. I don't know if it's like a bias. I just love Libras. Anyhow, but gifts received is showing me with the energy you're bringing that you have gifts to give other people in the month of April and in this new period where you're trying to move towards those goals. That, okay, maybe they had to take a hiatus, but now it's time to, as far away as it seems, and as distant and maybe even nearly impossible as it seems or had seemed, you have to try. You know, I'm going to bring in the rock climbing analogy again. You know, you're never going to get to the top of Mount Everest if you're going to quit on base camp 1. Some people need to quit on base camp 1 because they're not strong enough. But with this image, I feel like that's not what the issue is. The issue is committing to a journey. And for Libras in April, the journey has to start beginning. That journey might be happening on a mental level first. It might not be that you're going to move forward with plans of things, you know, in April itself. And this doesn't just have to be about your life ambition or your career. It could also have to do with relationships too, if that's been heavy lifting for you. Or if that's been a goal that's felt very far away. That's still just as relevant. Okay, reflection. Oh, man. Here we go, guys. You guys have the best damn energy coming into this month. Like, Libras are holding, like, the holy grail this month. And they're like, hey, everybody. Like, come to us. We've got the good mojo. Here we go. Reflection is dragon magic. Good fortune. All right? This is reflection, guys. Just reflection. And sacred earth, health and vitality. That shows me when it comes to your thought process and your reflection, you already know that you have great things to offer people. Start offering it. Because I feel like the biggest challenge up until now has been that you haven't felt confident. Or you felt like, oh, it's so far away, I don't even feel like making the effort. God, that's so far. And I gotta be honest, guys. Air signs and fire signs, love them to death and everything. But I'm all earth, so I gotta say it like this. Sometimes you can get enthusiastic about something and then feel like but you can't like commit to it or something. Because it feels like it's more than worth the effort or something. It's time to get over that. If you want to get to the top of the mountain, you have to start at the bottom. And I know that might come off as a little judgy, but I'm a major, major Capricorn energy. So I know what it's like. Like, I know that you need to start at the bottom to even get close to the top. Like, I must be in, like, at least base camp 2 right now, right? I don't know. I'm using the Everest analogy again. But it's like, when you're working hard, you know, you don't have to give up. But you have to start at the bottom to make it to the top. And, like, I know as an earth sign, that's a big part of my mentality. And sometimes that can be a challenge for particularly fire's usually the most that it's challenging because they're so enthusiastic that sometimes you can lose focus. Because, you know, the passion's in one place and it's in another place. With air, I think it's more sometimes you wonder if a commitment is worth the effort. Because you can be in your mind a lot with things. And I mean, I've seen this in other people and in relationships too. And I mean, it's not to say that you can't commit, but it's like sometimes you're like, is it really worth the effort? This time, yes, it's worth the effort. You just need to stick it out. Okay, guys? And it's going to take a long time, but you can get to the top of the mountain if you really want to and you're willing to make the effort. And to have faith in the effort. That's what it's about. Because again, you've got the goods. You just need to share them with people. And again, even your reflection is friggin' good fortune and health and vitality. You really don't have many obstacles this month or in this like next 2-decade push towards your dream or your high ambition or your soul ambition, as long as you're willing to commit to working towards it. One step at a time. That's where the challenge is. Okay. Action. Gotta say this again, if you're a very talented artist, hit me up, because action is... Okay, these are new cards, and some of them have wacky names. Give me a second. Synchlotron? God, forgive me if I'm mispronouncing that. Synchlotron. There we go. Infinite possibility is your action. This is what I've been smacking you around with this whole reading, guys. You need to believe that possibilities are endless for you to actually get to your goals, okay? So your goal or your soul's ambition might seem far away, but it's better to have tried and to have made efforts and to continue making efforts instead of just throwing up your hands and going, well, that's going to take forever. Why should I bother doing that? You know, well, I can't make money on this right away, even if it's what I love, so why should I bother doing it? Sorry, guys, that's another thing about my ambition. It's like, whoever I'm going to be collaborating with, we're going to have to wait until we make a full comic until we can make money off of it. But it's like, does that mean it's not worth the effort? Of course not. Of course it's worth the effort. Making something of a lasting, you know, substance and beauty and power is always worth it. Doing things that fulfill your soul is always worth it, even if you can't profit off of it right away. Jeez. Like, even when I was doing this work, I was sharing something that I loved with people, and it was like, it was just going to help me maybe just make ends meet, and now it's my full-time job. You know, guys? Like, that's a direct thing for you guys. Like, it's possible to change your life to do more of what you love if you're just willing to take a step towards it and take a chance and commit to that, okay? And I'm sorry, again, like, I'm not trying to be judgy. I need to convey this to you guys because that's the energy. It's like you need to believe that things are even possible before you can make anything happen. And again, even if it seems like it's in another country or another continent or another planet, you need to work towards it because you'll never get there if you don't try. All right. Last one, reaping for April. Bam. Okay, guys. Contemplation. And what's this? You just got another prosperity card. Abundance Mala. What does it say? Prosperity. And because contemplation is with prosperity, I really think it's that idea of understanding that you have gifts to offer other people. In case you forgot that this friggin' gifts received card is in your energy you're bringing, you have gifts to be giving other people and the world. It doesn't matter if you can't see the rewards right away. Just do it and don't overthink it and just go with the flow. Because by the end of it, you'll start to understand and reflect upon the fact that you have more you can be giving and more, much more, that you can be receiving if you just start sharing what you have, okay? And again, I have to push this because this has been the biggest part of the challenge of this energy. Because again, this is the next 2 decades too, on top of April, that awakens this energy. Yeah, it seems far away. Maybe it's not going to come until another few years or another decade or so that you reach the high destination of what you want, which might be, you know, whatever, fame and fortune, or an executive position, you know, or like a leadership position, or a slamming relationship, or whatever else your goal is that seems so far. But if you're not willing to take the first step, nothing can ever happen. So you need to take the first step towards it to start anything moving. And April is the perfect time to start considering that step, or to dip your toe into the pool and start getting in. All right, guys? So Libras, you have maybe one of the most awesome energies going into April. You know, like, take advantage of it because you've got magic here and you've got, you know, skills and abilities that can be of great value and of great assistance to others that help moves you forward too, okay? So start working with that. Start, again, taking steps towards that goal that seems far. That said, I do personal readings. If you want one, hit the link below. Hope you do. Hope you get a DLC bracelet. Just kidding, but they are awesome. So if you like it, go ahead. And if you're an artist of considerable talent or know somebody who's under the sign of Libra, then I would highly suggest contacting me, because quite clearly Libras right now are holding a lot of powerful cards of potential. And again, it's about trusting, taking some steps towards something that might seem far, but maybe it's going to be, some major gains coming. All right, guys? All right. So I'll see you later, and I think it's going to be an awesome month and an awesome next 2 decades for you guys, okay? See you later.